It's another Friday morning, which means it's another weekly roundup of the picks of the day on Sean's Picks of the Week. So here we are. And as always, I'd like to remind everyone, when you click on the links provided, you make any purchases from those links, I get a little cut of that. And I appreciate it because it helps keep the dog from deciding to kill us in the middle of the night because we have no more kibble for her. So you're saving our lives by clicking the links and buying stuff. Thank you for that. So this week, thanks to the very popular release of Persons of Interest for Sign Nominee Publishing, I decided to go with the theme System Neutral Week because this product, although it is in fact useful for those who are playing Stars Without Number, it is a very useful product also for anyone running a sci-fi campaign who wants to generate really interesting people for the heroes to interact with. So the idea here for System Neutral Week is products that may have a system in mind when designed or may not, but contains so much useful information that it's very much designed for anybody to use for pretty much anything. So Persons of the Interest by Kevin Crawford, again, is all about setting folks up to build antagonists and NPCs for the campaign. So, that being the first pick, we move on to the next one, which was Fantasy Towns, which is quite literally 50 towns and cities for tabletop role-playing games. I mean, it's straight up right there on the cover. It is designed for anybody running a fantasy game. Now, this one is very much set up to play with in any kind of fantasy or fantasy-adjacent kind of setting. These towns, there's full-on towns created top to bottom, information about economy, imports and exports, demographics, just everything you need to make a town come to life, including adventure hooks. So this is a very sweet product for anyone running anything, like I said, fantasy or fantasy-adjacent. Then we go on to the Party Backstory Generator. Now this one's a fun one because it basically is almost like a mini game you can play within any fantasy game that you are playing, where you go through and figure out all the backstory stuff for not just one character, but all the characters, how they know each other, what their intersectional histories might be, how they got together to go on adventures, that kind of thing. I'm just going to go ahead and quote Luke Gygax of the famous Gygax family, who says, "The Party Backstory Generator is a collaborative storytelling supplement that's a hell of a lot of fun for you and your players. It's sort of like a workbook from your college lab class in that you get to draw out the starting region for your campaign, but everyone gets to collaborate and add their own touch so your whole group is invested in the setting. This book is a fun improv exercise that will get your group off to a great new start." So basically, once again, and I can even see if you are clever about how you use it, you could adjust it for almost any setting. But obviously, its focus is on people who are playing fantasy games like Dungeons and Dragons. Moving on to the next pick, one of my favorites actually, Remarkable Inns and Their Drinks. Now, as you can see, that is a best platinum seller. I mean, it is an incredibly popular product that, once again, has some elements that are 5e oriented, but is very much designed for people to enjoy creating your own inns and taverns, bringing them to life. It does have some gameplay stuff with an element of 5e-ish, as it says. Literally, some special effects are 5e-ish. But really, a lot of it is just a fun delve into inns, taverns, and, well, quite frankly, the cool drinks that you might find in such a place. As a mixologist, which is my other passion and hobby, I have a particularly keen interest in this one. Finally, we have a focus on, yes, my company's products, because we have a lot of really cool stuff in this space. Focusing on Oceanic Discoveries, the most recent release by Michael Surbrook via his Michael Surbrook Presents line under Evil Beagle Games. Whereas, again, it's a 5e statted product, the deep research and cool tables and everything that he came up with is absolutely useful for anybody playing not just a fantasy setting that deals with oceans and large bodies of water, but really almost any campaign in which this is a thing, because he goes in, he does all of this research on matters of oceanic and like huge lakes and stuff like that, how they're set up, the ecosystems, the kinds of things you're likely to find both realistically and from a fantasy perspective. And again, all of these books are chock full of these amazing random tables and charts that he creates that, again, it does not matter what game you're playing, this is going to be a fun product for a GM to play with and help them run their game. Now, I also point out that the rest of the Michael Surbrook Presents line, as well as Bill to Evil Bunny Keys' Cities of Wonder line, both are featuring tons of system-neutral stuff for anybody to use for almost any setting, any campaign, any genre. So yes, in this particular case, I am pointing out my company. Hey, it's my podcast, and I'll do it if I want to, or something. Anyway, so that's it for System Neutral Week. As always, I appreciate the support. I thank you guys for paying attention. I thank you for clicking on things and saying to it that, hey, we get a little bit of money in the bank. And as always, I hope that you're enjoying all this stuff. And finally, game on and be good.